What's going on, guys? Ever since the end of March, when we really started getting some leaks around the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, we've talked several times about how there really just isn't a whole lot there that's changing in terms of the hardware. But in this video, we're going to talk about one big change that I think is going to make a difference to quite a few of you. Let's quickly take a trip down memory lane back at the end of March, where we talked about these renders. The first thing that I want to quickly point out to you, and this does sort of play into this news story just a little bit, is if we look at this area to the left of the screen on the hinge side of this Pixel 10 Pro Fold render, you can see some subtle differences. We'll zoom in here a little bit closer so that you can see this a bit better. Now, when I say it's subtle, I mean it's subtle, but it is in fact there. If you compare this region here and then going down to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, what you're going to find is that area has shrunk just a little bit. And that is allowing the diagonal measurement of the cover display on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold to grow just a little bit, going from around 6.3 inches to closer to 6.4 inches. But it's not just that they've shrunk that area. Apparently, they've also done some more significant work to the hinge to enable better, more robust dust protection, dust resistance. That's the word I was looking for. This portion of the story does come from Android Headlines. They say this is going to be the first foldable released with the IP68 rating, and that is a pretty big deal. As they mentioned, Samsung's current foldables are IP48, and if I'm being honest with you, that number 4 for the dust resistance doesn't really mean a whole lot. If you pull up what these numbers actually mean, ingress protection, and we're looking at solids, so the first number 4 means that you are protected against a solid object greater than 1 millimeter, such as a wire. So again, when we're talking about these folding devices, we're talking about protection against 1 millimeter. How are you getting a 1 millimeter object into the device in the first place? When you scroll down through these, the fact that many of these foldables say IPX8 or IPX6, it means they have no ingress protection against solids. You start to see how ridiculous that is, because level 2 says you're protected against things like fingers. Okay, so are we sticking our finger inside the foldable somehow? So again, at a certain point when it comes to phones, really anything 4 and below is effectively meaningless. If you see an X, just know that that really doesn't mean anything, because I promise that your hand is not going to damage the device. You're not going to get your hand inside the device in some way. So again, up to 4, kind of meaningless. But if you get up to 6, IP68, now you are dust tight. No ingress of dust to up to 8 hours. And dust has been one of the biggest problems with these foldables, because they have to open and close, and things get inside the devices. They get behind your screen. You end up with these bumps in your crease, and eventually those bumps can actually lead to failure of the screen. So if they are indeed going to pull off IP68, which, by the way, I should quickly mention what the 8 means, protection against the effects of immersion in water under pressure for long periods, that is pretty darn impressive. Now, we should point out that there are rumors, as they say, that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 could also be IP68 rated as well. But again, this is just a really good move for Google if true. If they truly have accomplished this, your concerns about durability when it comes to external forces, things getting into your fold and destroying them, you can pretty much put those concerns to rest if this is real. When the Oppo Find N5 was beginning to be teased, and they said that it has IPX6, X8, and X9 water resistance ratings, that is definitely cool. They put out a promo video where they were literally swimming with that device. But I think that for the most part, most of us, as long as we have like a 6, 7, 8 water resistance rating on our foldable, that's probably fine. That means if you're out and there's a sudden downpour of rain, you're not going to have to buy a new phone. The thing that is the concern for most of us is dust resistance, and IP4 or something is not dust resistant. So getting up to 6, I think is very, very important. And it's cool to see that Google apparently is going to be matching Samsung with that rating. Guys, let me know how big of a deal this is to you in those comments down below. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.